You Are What You Eat is the first book that I read.
You Are What You Eat.
So in 2010, I don't think you even know this, even though you stalk me on Facebook
I do.
and social media all the time. But I'm going to show you something very shocking.
Okay.
This was me
No, holy moly.
in 2010 or 2008. And so this was me at playing poker. So I lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, we'll zoom in or something, we'll figure that out.
Figure that
holy moly.
So I lost 100 pounds. And this was the very first book that I read. I remember exactly where I was. I lived in Fort Washington. I went on my deck and I read the entire thing cover to cover. And it's very easy because there's lots of bright pictures and lists. And basically this book talks about how your body processes food. And it really is like you are what you eat. If you eat junk, you're going to look like junk, and if you eat well, then you're going to probably eat well.
So Dr. Jillian McKeith. More than 2 million copies sold is kind of like crazy a lot.
Yeah.
Like only
for a book like
250 authors out of 1 million that publish do above 100,000 sales.
Sure.
So 2 million copies
I think
sold.
she's English, and I think she ran like a health clinic. But it's really accessible and easy, and this was actually given to me, or recommended to me by my high school classmate, Annie, who I think she lives in New Hampshire now, but she's really into health and fitness. I think her thing's core nourishment. And I just read it, and it spun off, and I ended up losing, over the 4 years, I lost 100 pounds. So people now come up to me, I haven't seen in a while, and they say, oh my God, you look so skinny. And I say, well, this is how I'm supposed to look.
Wow.
But I played a lot of poker, drank a lot of beer, and didn't do a whole lot.
And that was prior to then, becoming more aware of your body and what to put in it.
Sure, yeah.
To not just lose it, but keep it off.
Yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm kind of a turbo nerd. So when I have to tackle a problem, I usually go to study about it. So I've read probably at least 10 to 12 like books on health, and I understand metabolism and the chronology, and like did the whole 9 yards. But that's not what this is. This book is solely gives you lists of food that's good for you and lists that are bad for you. And there's a lot of surprising findings on the list. Like people, because our marketing world that we live in tells you that this is it's non-fat or it's low fat.
And then you really see the caloric
distributions
and the chemicals. And
it's just your body is an extremely complex machine, but it is very unsophisticated in how it metabolizes food. It either understands what it is or it doesn't.
So you're saying if it doesn't understand, nothing good happens.
The liver takes it and doesn't understand it, straight to fat. It just sends it to fat. So you throw a Coca-Cola in there and you overload your liver with sugar, it just says, I don't know what to do, straight to fat. But if you throw a whole bunch of like non-fat, non-fat.
Makes sense. Yeah.
What's that?
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, and so back in the 70s and 80s, the easiest thing in the world to sell politically was that eating fat made you fat. It's easy. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It turned, so when the government told all these food industries or all these food companies to take the fat out, it all tasted like this book.
That tasted bad.
It tasted bad. So you put in sugar or you put in some other chemical equivalent of sugar. It doesn't necessarily taste sweet, but the makeup of the food, your liver doesn't know the difference. Whether it's actual sugar or it's like a chemical compound to make a piece of food taste like food, it goes into your liver and it doesn't know what to do with it. It messes with your kidneys and your pancreas and sugar spikes and all that kind of stuff. Ultimately, people ask me how I lost 100 pounds. It's really two simple rules. I didn't work out at the gym and go to Orange Fitness or
Orange Theories, whatever. Yeah.
I was never an avid workout guy because I did a lot of construction and I don't have the body to do that. My body is just, I beat up my body over 10 years. Don't eat anything with a nutrition label and don't eat anything that's advertised. If you do follow those two things, 99% of the things you eat are going to be natural. And guess what that means? That means your body knows what to do with it. You can eat, don't eat an entire pile of fruit, but if you eat, you literally can't eat too many vegetables. I mean, almost virtually you can't.
I have read that.
Because if you do, your body knows how to overlook, how to deal with too much celery. But too much sugar, too much fat.
And all those fibers are good in it.
Yeah, it's good, but your body has a mechanism to expel all that excess food. So that was really how I did it, and I call it the ERF diet. This is the Eat Real Food diet.
Eat Real Food
Eat
Diet.
Real Food diet. It's pretty
You
simple.
Are, We Eat
All right, we should eat
by Dr. Gillian McKeith.
Jillian McKeith. I think.
Jillian.